Hi everyone. I'm going to show you how to paint the Christmas trees I've been yakking on and on about on Facebook. I know a lot of people have ordered some already. I will deliver them to you. I can ship them anywhere also. You can inquire about having maybe a private party, or I may have some classes scheduled coming up. But I want to give you these instructions here now. For those of you who are painting at home, having a little group over, it's a great idea to get started. It's never too early to start holiday decorating. So I'm going to quickly show you the sizes again. You can look in the description or in the comments, and I'll have a link on where you need to order them. But feel free also just to send me a message of any questions you might have, and I'll answer you. I'll be following all of the comments on this video as it's out there, and I will be answering your questions as we go along. So let me just show you the different sizes. First, I know I went over them on the live, but if you didn't catch it, there are a few different sizes. So we have this little one here is, let's see if you can see that. Let's get rid of this. So this little one is 11 inches tall from the bottom of the base to the top. It's really nicely detailed, and that will be important when I show you how we're going to paint them, because it really makes for a nice dry brushing technique. It comes with the light kit, all the lights and the stars. If you would like to get something besides the multicolor lights, just let me know. You can get all blue, you can get all clear. I did this fun little Halloween one the other day, and that has the orange lights. You might want to see this. Let me pull it over. Lights up. This one isn't on my list. This was just a little fun tree I had, and I wanted to do it up for Halloween. Okay, so I showed you the 11-inch. That little tree is $55. That includes the shipping in the instruction I'll give you here. I have also a 12-inch. It's a little different shape. It's really nice if you want to put it on a shelf or on a mantle. So you can see it's 12 inches with the base. Again, it lights up, but it's narrow, so it's more oval shaped, and it fits in a little flat area, such as your mantle or in a window, which would be nice. That little tree, again, delivered and with the lights in the light up kit, is $60. The next tree, which is the middle size, which seems to be very popular, this, and again, the beautiful detailing. It's all fired, it's bisque, it's all cleaned. If you remember back in the day when we had the greenware and we would have to clean it and fire it, this is all fired, it's sturdy, it's not going to break. And I'm going to show you how to paint it. We are not firing these again and glazing them. We're going to paint them with acrylic paints and give it a nice spray so you can still get that nice glossy finish. But it saves another step of having to have it fired. So this little guy stands 15 inches tall, has the base, and again, firing the kit and all. The big tree, the ginormous tree, here's the one I have already half painted. So this ginormous one is 19 inches tall when it sits on its base. You can see this is one big tree. It's pretty cool though. So I'm going to show you, there's many ways to paint it, but I'm going to show you the technique I used on this traditional green one. This is what you might remember from back in the day when we all had a ceramic shop on the corner. I grew up in my mother's ceramic shop, which was Jan Ceramics in Hudson. We painted millions of these. I don't have one, so I'm going to paint this one for myself. But I'm going to do some fun colors too. So I have this green one. I'm going to show you the technique. I painted the little shelf tree in just kind of a blue shade, which is kind of nice. The technique I'm going to show you, and we'll even do one maybe like in a mauve-y pink. You can use this technique for any color that you want to use, and I'll show you how to do that and to choose the colors that you wish. Some people do them all white with the blue lights, which is very pretty. You could do a gray with just a white wash over with the blue lights. And also metallic gold. That's kind of cool. Teal. There's lots of ways you can do it. But let me jump in and show you how I get started so that you can paint your tree that will be coming along to you. And so I just use 4 shades of green. I start with a real, just, and brands, whatever you might have on hand. But if you're going to buy some, I'll show you. I just picked what I have here. This is Americana. This is Hauser dark green. I just want you to look for a really dark green. If you have a green, you could always mix it with a little black to give it, a little bit of depth. Then I'm going to use a bright green, which is a Deco Art Holly green. This is just more of a bright Christmas green. It's a little bright when it goes on, but it's nice because we're going to put a little toned down green on top of it, which is, I don't want to say it's avocado-y, but it is kind of a This is Craft Smart Shamrock, it's called. So you see I have a variety of paints. Craft Smart is Michael's brand. It's pretty inexpensive. Americana, I love the Americana Deco Art. I tend to go towards that when I can. Has better coverage. But really, I have all sorts of paints here, and I'm just using what I have. Another Craft Smart paint, and this is like a leaf green. It's called Lush Foliage. I'm going to make a list of supplies for you too. So I will send that out in an email for those who have bought the trees, and I'll also post it in the comments here. So I've got a dark green, Christmassy green, kind of almost avocado-y, but a little brighter than that. And then like a leaf green, a brighter green. And then we just use white at the end. So let me just show you real quick. I like to use these really inexpensive 2-inch chip brushes. You can get them sometimes at the hardware store. Sometimes I get them at the dollar store sometimes. And they're very inexpensive, but I love the technique that you get with them. So I'm going to use, I have a bunch of them. I'm going to use a different one for each green because I don't want to use a wet brush. It's a dry brush technique once we get going. I don't want the brush to be soaked with water, and it's hard to get all those little bits of water out. So I'm just going to have 4 brushes lined up to use. They work perfectly for this technique, and you're not ruining one of your good brushes. So I'm going to start with that very dark green. And this guy's huge, so it's kind of more difficult to work on, but I start just to the bottom. And I try to get all the little nooks and crannies. If you don't, you're going to have a lot of layers on top, so it really won't matter. You will notice the little nooks and crannies that you might have missed when the paint dries. Right now it's pretty shiny, so sometimes it's just a little shine that you see and not actually the white of the tree. So I'm going to give it, a quick coat here. I'm going to work a little quickly so you're not kind of bored watching this, but you could do a little bit finer job, when you're painting your tree. And I just like to start at the bottom. I think years ago we used to have little turntables. We'd put these on and kind of spin them around, which was handy. Okay, so let me get a little more of that dark paint. And I appreciate you guys watching, and I appreciate you buying trees. I'm kind of excited to be back in painting some ceramics. It brings back a lot of memories. Like I said, my mom would have classes every night. I would teach the kids classes. It was really a lot of fun, and I'm glad to see it's having a little bit of a resurgence. And I'm thinking that those of you that might want to have a little get-together, especially now with COVID and we're all inside, and I really do miss my in-person classes. I'm doing some. We have some that are socially distanced and we wear our masks. So if you are interested in getting a little get-together, I have a little, I have a studio space that I can use now. We can have some small groups. I'd love to have you come and do it with me. But if you'd like, what a great idea to just do it at home with your family and friends. It's kind of a nice generational party to have. You could have, do the big tree and have the kids all do a small one, whatever color they want. It would make such a fun little grouping of all the trees in the different colors. And in each year you could bring them out, and as the time goes by, you'd remember that Christmas you all painted the trees. You could put on the Christmas music and make some hot chocolate. It'd be kind of fun. Have the kids all sign them, the moms, the grandmoms too. And just think, when you take them out, you can have all those little memories. You can look at their little handwriting and the dates that it was painted. I think it would be a great activity after we've all been sort of distanced a little bit. It'd be nice to have a good memory to end the year off. Let's hope it all changes, and things get a little better. But like I said, I'm going to do some more virtual classes. I have kind of been away from my painting. You might know I have another business. I have the Tinker's Cart Irish Imports. I have moved my store after Christmas to the Worcester Public Market. So I've spent a lot of time during the shutdown really organizing my business there. I pumped up my website. I've done a lot of online orders, delivering orders, meeting people with orders, whatever it takes these days to kind of keep it going. And it's been nice. I've really met a lot of nice people when I'm bringing out their Irish candy and their sweaters and whatnot. So I've been kind of concentrating on that aspect of my business. I've just started a subscription box business through the Irish, with the Irish goods of snacks and gifts and t-shirts, just for people that might want to get a little surprise box at home. We all are used to now getting things delivered, but wouldn't it be nice that instead of groceries, you're going to have, some fun things delivered? So now I have got that all squared away, and I'm really excited to get back to my painting. I've missed it. I haven't done much painting this summer at all. So I've got some great ideas for you. It's kind of late now for Halloween, but that little Halloween tree is kind of cute. So I'm going to jump in sort of with Christmas ideas. I do have a class tonight, virtual class, with the Halloween design. So you can watch for on my Facebook page for announcements about some virtual classes, which are nice because you can pop in live and we can paint, but then you also can watch that recording anytime. So if you sign up for the class and you can't make it, it's something that you'll have access to in a private Facebook group anytime you want to paint. So that's going to be kind of an exciting adventure when I can get all the technology for the filming down. I had big plans for this video of getting my split screen going and all sorts of things, but as you can see that I'm here just by myself without the split screen. But I think you can see what I'm doing. And if you, like I said, any question, put them in the comments, send me a message. I'd be happy to help you out with anything you need. So this does take a little while to dry. So what I'm going to do, so you don't have to sit here and watch paint dry, is move it aside. And I'm going to kind of work on that little shelf tree with the blue background while this one dries. So the technique really for the dry brushing is pretty simple. Since there's so much nice detail in these trees, I paint the background a darker color of whatever I'm thinking of I want. And on top of that is I just do 2 or 3 dry brushing, which you'll see, of lighter colors of that same shade. And it's nice because the dark shows through and you've got little bit on the edges feathered on there. So I'm going to show you in the blue because I started it in blue and it would look really silly to have a tree that was half and half. So, but keep in mind, get some ideas for colors. Actually, my cousin gave me a suggestion online on Facebook when I asked for some color suggestions about red, white, and blue, a patriotic tree. Now that would be kind of fun for 4th of July, Patriots Day, Memorial Day. Similar to the candy corn tree, you could paint blue on the top with stars, red stripes, white. I am going to try that. That sounds really fun. But I didn't want to overwhelm you today with all sorts of ideas. So we're really going to just do the dry brushing technique. Same as different chip brush. This is just a light blue paint. Did I tell you the name? It's just a Craft Smart. It's pale blue, just a real light blue. I only use 2 colors on this tree, just the blue and the white. And I'm just using this brush because it's nice. It gets into the nooks and crannies and the crevices. So I'm going to quickly do that so it dries, and then I can switch back to the green tree. When we get to the mauve one, pink one, same thing. We're just going to find a dark pinky color and just put a few coats on top. I'll show you the technique after how I get that snow effect. A couple of different ways. I did on the big tree, just paint it on. I really didn't like the look, the way it looked with that Snowtex that you put on. It looks like snow. I don't know. It just looked crumbly to me. So what I did on this one is I used some modeling paste. I'll show you when we get to it, and some glitter. You can glitter these guys up as much as you like. If you like glitter, you'll find that glitter all over your house for the rest of your life. But it is kind of sparkly, and sparkly is always good, especially these days. We want sparkly. We want fun. We want get creating some fun things. So. Also, while I'm yakking away, if you aren't on my Facebook page, please follow me at Tinker's Cart Art. And if you'd like to join my email list, I'll keep you informed of everything going on. You can always just direct message me your email and I'll add you to my list. I have lots of people on my list that have come to my in-person parties, so it'll be nice to kind of get the virtual thing going. If you're not comfortable coming out, we will be here for you online. So there we go with that blue one. Let's just let that dry. The base I did very similarly. So the base is actually not the best lighting, but it's got the blue paint under, and I did a couple coats of just a silver metallic. And so this guy's pretty easy. Same big brush. I'm just going to paint that. 1 coat will do it. I used 2 coats for the metallic. Metallic paint's pretty translucent. But we're going to quickly put this on for the base of that blue tree so we can finish that up and not have a striped zebra tree. The base I did not show you up close of the big ginormous tree. So I'm going to paint that gold. And I'll show you how I did that. Again, metallic paint's really translucent, so I painted just just with kind of an ochre gold acrylic paint first. This is the Folk Art brand. It's a yellow ochre. It's just a nice gold but it's a nice base so that when we want to put the metallic on top of it, it gives it something underneath, because if we are painting it on the white, I can even show you, it gets pretty translucent. So I love the metallics, but I always put a base first, because you will see why. This is very different for me, painting in my basement with you guys. It's nice because I can like be wearing my yoga pants, but it is nice to see your faces in person. So just to give you an idea how it's pretty translucent, it's hard to see in there, but I like the rich way it looks with that ochre underneath. So I am just going to paint the ochre first, and then when it dries, we'll have everything drying at once here. When it dries, we will just put a couple coats of metallic on top, maybe one. We'll see how it looks. So has everybody painted any ceramics lately? I'd love to see pictures of what you might be working on. I know during the shutdown, I did get some pieces at the Paint Your Own Pottery place and did a really cool chip and dip set with the jaws, a shark on it, and then a life preserver for the dip, for the chips. It was really, really a fun little project. I did all sorts of, well, if you know me, I'll paint on anything and I'll craft anything. So I did all kinds of fun little projects while we were, in the house. So that was fun to get back to do a little ceramics, and it kind of inspired me to kind of explore doing the trees and things, which are a really nice memory of my childhood. Okay, so we're waiting for these to dry still. I think I want to jump in and just kind of get that dark mauve tree started. I'm going to do it just on a sample of the shelf tree. Again, we have all of these for sale, and like I said, I could do them with a class with you, but I'm happy to drop them off if you're local, and I will also have them shipped to you wherever you may be. But just for fun, let's just try this. I don't know what it'll look like, and I think it would have to maybe use the clear lights on this one, which would be pretty. So the shelf one, like I said, is the oval one, about 12 inches tall on the base, and they all do, again, come with the wiring, so you'll be all set with that. Deco art, I found a nice cranberry wine. It's really just maroon, a nice dark maroon. And I just went through the paint I had and found a couple shades of pink. So we're going to try that. And remember, you can always mix your colors too. If I don't find enough of a gradation between the colors, I'll just add a little white, make the same shade. You can use the same shade and just go right down the line. Use your dark, add a little white, the next color, add a little more, and you've got your 3 shades there. So that's a thought too, if you don't have a lot of supplies. Supplies, I go to Michael's, get a coupon. They haven't had a big selection of paint lately. I don't know what's going on with that. But you can certainly order on Amazon. I have enough of a stash here. I could outfit all of you probably. But Amazon has some kits and some sets. If you would like me, I can certainly make a kit up for you. If you're ordering a tree and you don't have any supplies and you don't want to go out for them, I'm happy to put something together for you, drop it off with the tree, and you are good to go. I found I used just an acrylic craft paint for them. For the finish on this guy, I got a spray, which I'm really happy with the way it looks. It's Mod Podge spray. It's a super high shine. I got it at Michael's, and I sprayed it a couple times, and I'll tell you, it gives it almost like a nice glazed finish. It's really, I was surprised really at how much of a shine it gave. Some people, if you don't want to use a spray or you're not comfortable with that, you can do a brush on gloss finish too. Mod Podge makes that as well. And I imagine there's other brands of there's Krylon, I'm sure, different brands of a high shine gloss. You just don't want anything that yellows, and it will generally tell you on the label. I did buy, just to try it, the Gloss Luster Mod Podge that you can brush on. Remember, that goes on a little milky, but it does dry clear. So don't worry that you're losing your color there. So, but it would be nice to have a little get together, make some cookies, have a fire, paint some trees. I think it'd be a great opportunity to make some memories with your kids or grandkids or siblings. You could have a little tree decorating contest. Who's this, vote and who wins, and you get a little trophy, and you could carry it right along, like I tend to do with crazy things like my ugly sweater party, which I don't know if we'll be doing that this year, but maybe we could do a Zoom or a virtual one, because I do love my ugly sweater parties. Do you guys have some special Christmas traditions? I know there's a lot of people that do cookie swaps, which would be fun if I couldn't bake cookies. But yeah, if you want to, in the comments, just let me know, like, what kind of fun things you got going on for the holidays. We all need something to look forward to. Oh gosh, the season's changing so fast. I can't even believe that it's fall already. We're in October. Trees are beautiful and changing, which means Christmas is around the corner. So I think I will do some, I'll do some more Christmas things. I know everybody still loves the little pickup truck, the red pickup truck with the tree in it. I've done it with stencil classes on the boards. I've done it painting. People love it still. And I have some ceramic ones. I have some ceramic ones that light up. People are going to have been asking already, but I didn't want to jump in and get everybody confused. So I'm going to do trees today. We're offering the trees. In a little bit, I'll get out the trucks, and also like a little old-fashioned Woody car with the tree in the back, and they light up. Those are kind of fun. Oh, you know what I have? I wanted to paint today. It's so adorable. It is a cactus. So it's like a saguaro cactus, star on top, all the lights. I love it. And I'm not even the biggest Southwestern decor person, but I don't know why. I just love those saguaro cactuses when I travel out to Arizona. They fascinate me. So I am pretty excited. I'll paint that up and I'll show it to you on Facebook. Or maybe I'll just do a quick time-lapse version or a live or something. And if you want one, I can get you any of those things. I've got bunches here and I can always order some for you. So the trees, I'm going to say we'll take a couple of weeks. I have a few in stock, but we've had a lot of orders for them. So I'm going to restock and get them to you as fast as I can. But I'm starting early now so that we have plenty of time to get those trees in and paint them. So the other trees are drying up nicely. So I'm going to just finish up with this maroon. It looks kind of crazy, doesn't it? Maroon tree. But I think it'll be cool, especially with the clear lights. Can't wait to, I think I'll make a little display of all of the trees on my mantle this year, or on a side table or something. It'd be kind of nice to have a little bit of a homemade touch. Oh, so what else I'm going to do? So I'm going to have the other ceramic pieces. We'll get my paint nights with the canvas. I know loads of you have come to my classes with the canvas. So much fun. And then I started doing the stenciled signs, which have been a blast and people really love. You can personalize them. They're really great gifts and everything. So I'm going to do some of those on some virtual classes too. I think I will skip the base on that because I don't want to have you guys have to watch all that. But that base, I think I would paint just the dark. You know what? I wouldn't. I'm gonna paint it the ochre color with the gold. I think that would look really nice. So I've got the big one here dried. So let's just work on that while we're waiting for the little. Sometimes the paint takes a little while in the crevices of the detailing of those biscuit trees. So I'm going to go back to this guy, and I think I will do the base to the mauve tree the same. So I'm going to just take my, so this is now, I'm using the metallic. So I have an old thing of Delta Ceramcoat. This thing's ancient, but it's just a metallic gold. Every brand makes them. And I'm going to just quickly put that on. I think I might get away with one coat on that. And what also might be nice, if you wanted to freehand, you could put Merry Christmas, Happy Christmas, your family name across here. Very easy to do if you don't want to freehand it and you don't like your writing and all that. Just go on the computer, kind of measure out what you need. Go on the computer and go in any word processing document. Go into Word or Pages and pick out a cool font. And then you can just trace it on to the base and copy it. And actually the paint markers now are great for that if you didn't want to paint it. But if you want to just trace, get the nice font, print it out, and then you could just get a little, you can even put chalk on the back of the paper, put it on there. Or depending if it's a light or dark one. If it's a light base, you could just rub the back of that paper with a pencil and transfer it that way, or a piece of carbon paper. But if it's a dark base, you could always just put a little chalk on the back of your printer paper that you've printed out your whatever you want to write on there. You could put the family name, something special, whatever you'd like. Kind of nice. So I think one coat covered this nicely because you had that gold underneath. So this base is going to be done. I'm not going to do any writing on that, I don't believe. So we're going to just put the gold metallic on there and call it finished. And I will show you, when this is dry, I'll show you how to put that light kit in. It's very easy. So let's just put that aside now. So that's all done. And you can see if you want to do the pink tree, the mauve tree, you can see that you would just do the same kind of thing. Let's go ahead now and put our silver on here. And I'm going to put it on this blue tray. The same thing. It actually was this is Apple Barrel, which by Plaid, it's not an expensive paint, but I tell you, they work out pretty well. And you can get a really nice variety of colors because they're maybe a couple bucks or $1. They're not much. So let's just put our silver. I haven't been watching myself painting, so I'm hoping that I'll hold things up so you can see. I want to make sure you can see what I'm doing. But again, if you have any questions, contact me. Put a message here. I'm recording this now. It's not live, but I'm going to watch it, and I will be notified if there's any comments or questions, and I would be happy to answer anything. This one is pretty watery, so this would be 2 coats of the silver, but let's just put one on so you just know kind of how it's finished off, and then we can go on to the other trees. I was going to do this live, but I don't know. I wanted to kind of make sure it came out okay first. But if going forward, I'll do some live ones. That way we can be chit-chatting while you're watching. And if you have any questions on the fly, we could answer those. I could answer those for you. So yeah. All right. So let's see how easy that is. It's just a quick coat on top of the blue. I'm going to put it aside to dry. The bases, you could, when you're done on the bottom, you could certainly get a Sharpie and write a little message, put a date, put something on there so years to come, if you're like me, I'll remember, but I won't. So you can just put something on there, and it would be kind of nice to have those, know when you created them. Okay, let's go back to the little blue tree because that's dry now. So you can see the finished side. I don't know if the lighting's great, but you can see the finished side. And now we've just a flat blue. So I'm going to get some white. And I've only, like I said, the 2 colors on this one, so it's pretty easy, pretty straightforward. And I tend to put out too much color, but you could be better than me and not be so generous because I always have leftovers. Again, I go to these chip brushes, like I say, I buy them in a big pack. I rather put them all in water. I'm keeping everything in water, the brushes, so they don't get hardened and wrecked. So I just get a new one because this is a dry brush technique, which means you want a dry brush. So if you only have a few of the brushes, just dry it out really well before you go ahead and start this technique. This is pretty quick and easy. I put not a lot of paint on my brush. I'm just taking a little bit and pulling it to the side and kind of mushing it off. I don't want to use too much. And then it's just literally dry brushing. So you're just I'm going in the direction the branches go, because I really don't need the color underneath. I just want them on the tops. The trick is go really lightly. I know I always say this in my classes, go really lightly to start when you're putting the paint on your board. It's so much easier to add paint than it is to try to pull it off. You'd have to paint the blue. If you could, though. So don't worry too much. If there's a mistake, you could paint over everything. If you didn't like the way it came out, you'd let that dry and put your blue back on. So don't, stress. Enjoy painting. Don't stress. Everything can be fixed, especially with these acrylic paints. So I am just putting a light coat. I'm just going from, the top of the branch to the bottom. And then I kind of look at it, and do I want it heavier? Then you can put another coat. I tend to go heavier on the tips of the branches. So I kind of like it this light for most of the tree. But what I'm going to do now is take a smaller bristle brush. And I like the bristle brush. When I say bristle brush, it's a stiff bristle brush. It's not like a soft sable brush. It's got some body to it. And I like that because I can take some of the white paint, just taking a little bit. And then just on the middle of each of the branches, I'm just going a little heavier. I'm going from the branch to the top, feathering it. I'm not going from here down. Let me see if I can get a better angle because I'm not sure. I want you to be able to see. I'm just going from one of the tips up. And the tips up. Keep loading your brush. It's good to have the paint heavy here because you want it to look like snow. But you wouldn't want to go from the top of the branch down. Then you'll have a big blob. It will just be like a big square brush stroke. Heavier on the tips. And I would even let it dry and maybe do a second coat there. So what I do, and if you want to do the same, I kind of do it pretty quick, right? I'm kind of getting just a little wet paint on the tips of all these. And I'll show you why in a minute. I'll show you why I'm going kind of fast. So it's just the middles, let's say the middles, heaviest in the middle of the little branch. You can sort of do the middle, then kind of feather out to the side if you want to a little. Now, why I wanted to do a bunch of that while it was wet, because if you want to add a little glitter, and I think it works well on the blue tree, I wouldn't do it on the green, is I have the diamond dust. It makes a big mess, but it's just loose glitter. No, not even glitter, not even glitter. Glitter would have all those weird multicolors. This is like diamond dust. It's like dust of diamonds. And I sprinkle it on while that paint is wet, and it's going to stick in. And why I tried doing it, mixing it with the paint and putting it on, but it didn't have that sparkle. It just got all dull. So you could just put that on. And I even put a second coat of the white if you want it to look heavy. But I know it's a little hard to see, but can you see it looks like those, you know, when you go out and after the snowstorm and everything's sparkling? And I just use the white paint to catch that. If you wanted to, you could paint the whole tree and do your white tips and whatnot. And then you could use like your Mod Podge or any kind of a brush on clear, glob it on there, sprinkle on your glitter, and it would stick to that too. You just need something for it to stick to. So I would kind of leave that now. But again, you can go back and build up the white on the edges as much as you might like. But this is really pretty. I don't know if you saw it. I'll throw a few in because I don't want to take hours of your day. But I use just the blue lights for this one. And what I'm going to do after class is I will light them all up for you and take a picture and put it on Facebook. So take a look, keep an eye on Facebook, and you'll see them all lit. But see how pretty that is with the blue lights. Or blue and clear mix would be really pretty. I don't have any clear here at the moment, but I think I would like that even better. Okay, so let's move on. So we've got the blue tree done. 2 colors, really. Well, 3 for the base. You've got the silver, but just the light blue, a white, and then a little silver on the base. You can add that little diamond dust if you wish. I have a huge tub of it, so if you're getting a tree from me and you want me to put a little container in for you, I would be happy to. I have a lot, and you don't want to buy that huge thing just for one little project. So that is that. Let's go and start doing some of the lighter greens on the big tree. So we'll go back, we'll finish the big tree, and then we can quickly do the pink one. And remember, you can stop and start this video whenever you want and to catch the different colors. I'd love to do a teal one. I'd love to do all colors, but you can just imagine what that's going to look like. And I don't want to keep you here all day long. So let's go into the greens. I am just using paper plates for a palette. And I'm just using little cups for water. You don't need any fancy equipment or anything. Whatever you have around the house will work. And like I said, I'd be happy to get you anything, if you need supplies, I'd be happy to get those for you and drop them off or make a little kit. That's what I was going to mention is I am going to do some kits. I was thinking for kids, but I think for all ages actually. So I'm going to put together some little wooden cutout, little door hangers, lots of cute things for the kids. They're going to all be pre-drawn. The design will be on there for you. I will pack up the paint that you need, and I will do a video of instruction, but you will also get a list of instructions. And I'm going to offer those. I can drop them off again. You can pick them up. I can ship them. They'd be great for like a birthday party or family get-togethers too. I'll work up something for Thanksgiving, which might be nice. And if you're not getting together, there's nothing wrong with having like a video, Zoom paint along with your family and friends. I can help you with that. Just let me know and I can help you set something up like that too. Okay, so this was the second, you did the darkest green first, that real dark black green. Again, if you wanted and you only had a bright green like this, mix it with black and you'll get that black green. This is that Christmassy green that we're going to use next. And so again, I just use the dry brush and I don't ever want to go and take a whole bunch of paint and just go onto the tree because you'll have a big glob. I take a little paint to the side and I start with just a little paint on my brush. Again, we want to just touch the highlights of the carved areas so that the dark areas show in between. So I know this is going to be a little, this is so big, this one, but you can see how nice detailing it has, and that works beautifully for a dry brush technique. Same as the little blue tree though. We're going to work from the tip of the branches up. So I'm going to try to get it so you can see exactly what I'm doing. This is still going to have a couple of coats of green on. When I looked at this and I was painting it, I'm like, oh geez, that's really too bright. I don't know about that. But I toned it down with this, the little bit, the layers of green that are going on after. You can work pretty quick, and you can see I missed some spaces, but you're not going to even notice it now that the other green is going on top. So let's see here. I'm trying to manipulate this so you can see it, but you can get the idea of how I did that little tree. Tip of the branches up, tip of the branches up, just lightly feathering. How many of you have some of these vintage trees at home that your mom or your grandmother made? I bet you there are still a lot around. They're kind of like treasured and appreciated by whoever they were passed down to. They are a nice heirloom kind of a thing. So I'm going to try to put it at another angle, just maybe, yeah, maybe you can see there. Up here, there's even a lot of detailing at the very top. So I brush over that. You can see, now kind of get out of my logo's way there. I thought I was so fancy with my logo. So anyways, that's it. I mean, that's how quick it is. I go back, because this one is so big, and I did it on the tips, I would go back now and maybe bring some down. It's so shiny with the paint on there now. It's trying to make it so that you can see. So I'm just making sure I cover the tips now of all of the decorative branches, just to get a little bit of green in there, here and there. Oh, happy trees. I feel a little Bob Ross inspiration coming on. Happy trees. That's what they could be. Happy Christmas trees. You can do a little touch on the bottoms. When you have this in front of you and you see it, you'll just look at it and know where to put them, just wherever there's a little detail. Okay, so that is that green. We're going to let it dry a little bit, and then we're going to do the other shades. So in the meantime, I don't want to keep you waiting, and I don't want to put a hairdryer on and have to listen to that. So we're going to let that green dry. It's right under the light. It shouldn't be long. It's a very thin coat of paint there, so it won't be bad. Here we go back. I've not done one this color before, so I'm kind of excited about seeing what that brings. And let me see. Okay. Lighter pinks. So I'm going to use that same dish that we had pink on. And I think I'm going to have to go and mix a little bit of white with some of these pinks. Let's see, this one's kind of light. So it's an accent. Again, it's ancient. I've had it forever. But you can go and find all kinds of cool colors. I mean, Walmart even has that. What's that brand that they carry? They have a brand that they carry. I think it's probably less than $1 a bottle. And I've tested them out, and it seems to do well for the ceramics. This is just a patchy red. But so you can see here, you can see my dark maroon, and the other is just kind of a lighter pink. You can see it better there. It's all up to your own taste. You don't have to do what I do. I'm not the boss of you. You can do whatever you like. Actually, I saw someone that did like a rainbow tree. You could do all of the colors and just kind of blend them as you go down, which would be really fun. Some of these trees you'd want to leave out all year. I have no problem with that. Christmas every day. Okay, so this one is not a half a tree. I did mention that I painted half the tree so that we wouldn't have to go through the whole thing here. But this little guy, I have a lot of these, so I wanted to just do them as samples. So you can even see the texture on the bottom. Can you see how when you dry brush, you're just hitting the tops of the ceramic piece, just the tips, and then the indented areas are the dark color, and it just makes, isn't that much nicer than just painting it all pink? Same thing on when we get to the tree. I am just going to kind of go, maybe I'll work from the bottom to the top. I'm just dry brushing all the branches. And I've seen too, as I go lighter, you'll see on the green tree too, with the lighter pink, I sort of hit the tips of the branches a little less. I don't do the whole tree. I'm just doing, just like I did the snow in the middle and feathered it up. I would kind of do that more with just the lighter colors, but you'll see me do that in a sec. So again, if you want a tree, I'm going to put I have a link, and I think it'll work, to the page to order the trees. I'll put it in the description if I can, or in a comment. But feel free to even just direct message me. I'll give you a PayPal link, or if you want a Venmo or something, you can. And I didn't really give you the prices, did I? Okay, I did on the little one. The little 11-inch one, which, let me show you the size compared to these guys. So this is not on the base, though, but let's put them on the base so you can see. Just to see. So this is the 12-inch, but it is the oval guy. So you can kind of see. The other one, which is exactly like the big tree, sculpted beautifully, same base, but so it's 11 inches, this one. Let's see, can I do that? So you can kind of see that's 11 inches. So the 11-inch tree is the smallest one, and it is $55. That's delivered, fired, light kit, and star, and lights. And then the middle tree. Oh, here's the middle tree. We didn't do anything on that one. You can use your imaginations and do it any way you want. It's 13 inches. No, 15. Sorry, 15 inches. And then this guy, you know, he's not even on the base, and he's, you know, he measures about 19. So smallest tree, 55. Shelf tree, which is a little bit bigger, is 60. So 11 inch, 55, 12 inch for this guy, 60. 15 with this guy on the base, the middle size, probably the most popular, but I have to say I've sold more of the big ones. So the big one is 95. I know it's a big tree, and it's a little pricey, I think, but I think it's worth the cost because you're going to get a beautiful heirloom there, like something that you'll have forever. And the best part is that you made it yourself. So I think that's going to be a big seller. Like I said, I've sold more big ones in the middle size right now. I'm going to add some white to this pink, and I'm going to make up a lighter shade for you. Any suggestions? I would love some suggestions about what you might want to see to paint. I know I'm kind of all over the place with the canvas and the wood and now the ceramics, but it's fun to mix it up. So if there's any ceramic pieces that you're thinking of, there's some cute pieces for the holidays. The truck, like I said, that cactus, some ornaments might be fun. You could personalize them, give them out. So I'll be getting some samples in, but I'd love to hear your thoughts. If you have any ideas, please put them in the comments and let me know. So I've just taken that middle pink that we have there, that mauve color, and I just mixed some white. Don't worry about, oh, it's too light, it's too dark. When you put it on, you'll know, and you can adjust it. And like I said, there's no mistakes. You can fix anything. So now I'm going to lightly do it with this brush here. But then when I go back with the snow, I'll really gear that towards the center of the branches. But again, just let's see, so you can see what I am doing here. Can you see? I can do it practically without looking at it. It's taking the paint on the tips just naturally because that's the way the paintbrush is going. I really like it. Ooh, I really like it. I think this would also be cool in a dark blue, not just the light blue like we just did, but like a dark navy and then a few shades lighter. And then the snow would really pop on that. I'm happy we decided to do this color. It almost looks a little antiqued because of the dark in the there. I mean, how easy is that? Can you imagine? Couldn't get any easier. So what I would do to finish that off is just add a little, just want to see if my green's drying, a little bit of white on the edges. For the white on the edges, I really do like to go in with the bristle brush. You can use any size, really. This one's a little big, but it would work. I'm going to go with the middle one because I have my other littler one soaking in water. If you're looking for brushes, of course, there's Michael's. You can find them on Amazon if you're not comfortable going out to the stores. I always like to have a few bristle brushes when I'm painting my canvas or my wood, and now the ceramics too. I like the soft sable-like or synthetic brushes for the details, but these guys are workhorses and they take a beating, but I like the way that they are have some body to them, and you can do texture with them. And I do a lot with the canvas with these guys. So if you're looking for brushes, a couple of bristles would do you. This big one is a 10, and this is a 6. I don't go much smaller. The one I did the previous tree with the snow was a little smaller. I don't use that for a lot. You could do pretty much everything with these two. When you get to the smaller brushes, that's when I like the sables and the synthetics because they are, let me show you one. They're so much softer. And these guys aren't in great shape, but I'll just show you anyway. I've even gotten some nice brushes at Job Lot, actually. This little set with the white handles, pretty reasonably priced. So these are synthetic, but you can see they're very soft. I'd like to have a couple flats, probably like let's see, the rounds, I would usually go like, this is a 5, and I usually go with a 7 or an 8. And then a couple of flats. And what size? This one's kind of worn out, so I'm not sure, but well, about this size. And about this size. Just some nice flat wides, maybe like 1/2 inch or something. Aren't I prepared? Okay, so I'm going to go with just the white now. Just using the white that I didn't mix into my pink. And I'm going to really just hit the tips with that white. I go stronger, like I said, and this is the one time where I will take a little heavier paint. I'm not wiping all the paint off my brush. I'm really kind of loading it up, hitting the middle, and then sort of feather it on the sides. Hitting the middle, feather it on the sides. This is still a little wet, but you're going to get the idea. I would do all those little tips, let it dry, and put it on even a little heavier. You can almost just blob the paint on a little bit if you want to give it some texture. If you would like, there is a Snowtex Medium. I'll show it to you. I wasn't crazy about it. Where did I put it? Well, I'm not going to keep you hanging on while I go looking around my studio. It comes in a little bottle called Snowtex, and it's kind of bubbly, and you have to sort of put it on with a knife, a palette knife, or I was going to try maybe a Q-tip even. I meant to try that before we started. But what I did, I just took some modeling paste. It's golden modeling paste, and I blob it on. I sprinkle a little glitter if you want. But if you don't have those supplies, it's not a big deal. I think if you just blob on, take a good blob. I'm sorry about the lighting, but a good blob of the white paint, and it's going to give you some texture too. It kind of goes on there pretty thickly. So I just want to show you one quick time, and then we're going to go to the green tree. How you find the middle of find the middle of your little branch. It's like a triangle, right in the middle. Put the biggest blob of white from the bottom up, and then just feather out on the sides. Pretty easy. I bet you the quicker you go, the better. Because if you sit and you fuss with it and you try to do it perfect, you're going to make yourself crazy. So just kind of do, a little bit here and there. And can you see how quickly you can go once you get started? I mean, if you want, I probably would, if I was not yakking and not really paying attention to what I'm doing too much, I would just start from the bottom and work up, then you got all the branches. If you get a stray hair, it's no big deal. The brushes do shed a little bit sometimes. And this is a good angle too, because you're looking down at it, you can see just where you want to put it. It's a good size. The big one's a little a little bit harder to work with. It's so big, but pretty excited about this one. Can you see? I don't know if it's the best picture with my lighting, but I'm going to take some nice pictures of them all lit up when we're done and post those. If you order a tree, I will get back to you and enclose some of these instructions written out with color lists and supplies, a little list for you to refer to so you don't have to try to write everything down or remember during the video. Just kind of watch and observe, and then I'll give you a list. And again, I'm happy to provide you with a kit if you need that. If you'd like, you could share this video with your family and friends. I would appreciate it. I'd appreciate you sharing some of my Facebook posts. Us little businesses these days are, haven't had the easiest time with it. So we really appreciate every little order and every Facebook comment or review, or really, all, believe it or not, really helps us a lot. So I appreciate you guys watching and ordering, painting with me. There. I love this one. Can you see it? I think I might put another coat on this one. Well, let's just try a tiny bit because I'm just dying to play with the stupid diamond dust again. So I'm just going to do one little branch, a couple little branches just to see. So what I'm doing is just putting it on kind of heavy. The trick is you have to kind of put this diamond dust on while it's wet. So you could do it in sections, kind of really put it on a little heavy where it's going to stick. After you get the snow your way you want it, you just put a little extra in. To see it, let's see if you can see the sparkles. It's sticking more to the edge of the branches where I put the heavy white. it won't stick to the other areas, so it'd be kind of a nice look. You're not going to get the sparkles everywhere. I just want them on the tips. And again, that's that diamond dust. Got it, Michaels. Again, it's enormous. I'd be happy to send you some with your tree if you'd like to try it with your paint. Okay, so this guy's done. I'm going to do the gold base just like maybe silver, gold or silver. I'm not sure. Let's see. What do we think? I'm just putting it on this just to get an idea of how it looks. I think I might like the silver. I might go for a silver base. I'm going to play around with it. If I want just silver and I'm not using blue in the tree, I probably would paint it like a gray. Again, just for a base coat under the metallics. I just like to get a base coat under there. And then put the silver on top. I think that's what I will do. I think that will go nicer with those shades. Okay, let's polish off this big tree so you can see how it's done. And again, I know it's running a little long. I appreciate you hanging out with me. And 2 more shades of green. This little avocado-y color, which is going to tone down that bright green a little bit. I put way too much out. You can all share it. So it's that color there. And then we're going to just do a little bit of that light and then into the white. So let's see if I can do it fairly thin paint. We can get it to dry quickly and you don't have to be hanging out. I've watched some videos and they take out the hairdryer, but nobody wants to listen to that. Okay, so same exact thing as we did on the little trees for the big guy here. Working from the bottom up. Again, it's not as easy because he's so big. I'm just lightly hitting all the places. It's kind of weird because I've done half the tree, so I'm kind of going to go back over some of the completed branches, but I'll put the snow back on. I'm going to tip it a little, maybe the angle is better. Just the light. So I'm doing the same thing. I'm just going lightly on the branches. This top part has some nice texture, so we're going to make sure we hit that. If you want, because this guy is so big, you could hit some of the undersides of the branches where it's nice and textured as well. I go back in and I get some of the areas that didn't cover the first time. But it's really, when I say dry brushing, there's not much paint on here. There's hardly any. I'm just really lightly feathering, like you would put your blush on or your makeup. You're just putting a light little coat. If it's heavy anywhere, it's on the very tips. Okay. So then, because it's so thin, I can go right into the lighter green, mostly because I want to show it to you. But if you're at home, I would let it dry a little bit. I'm going to use the dish with the white on it. And a little bit of that green. And that's more of an apple green, leaf green. It looks similar to the other, but it is lighter. You'll see when I put it on. I'm going to use the same brush. It's just going to blend right in anyway. Okay, so let's see here. If I can get this so you can see it. And I promise I will work on my lighting situation for classes here. My first really demo I've done. So I appreciate you and bearing with me. So this is, can you see kind of how it is lighter? I am going to turn. Maybe if I put some on, you'll be able to see. So I'm going just on the edges of the branches again, from the bottom up, get these top a little bit here. You're going to start seeing all the shades, and you're going to be able to just by looking at it how you want it. You don't have to go by what I'm doing. You can say, oh, I like it a little lighter. I want the dark to show through more. And again, do not worry. You can always touch it up. You can go back and touch up spots with the dark if you have to, and then just lay the dry brushing back on top of it again. So it's pretty much the same technique. We solid coverage for the dark black green. Then we use that, the Christmas tree green on it. Then the avocado-y light green, and then the leaf green, which is light. And that's all you really need for greens. I just like the texture. It's very detailed. You don't want just to have a green tree. Although back in the day when we glazed them, it pretty much was a straight green. But because of all these little details, the glaze sat in those spots. So you kind of did create a dark in the little crevices, and the light glaze got a little lighter on the tips. So you did get those shades. So I was trying to recreate that, but I could go one step further by using all of these colors. And it's really kind of I don't know, I just love it. Anyway, so the greens are on. The next is the white. I'm going to show you how I did it. It might mix in with the green a little bit, but you can get the idea. And just on your tree, just kind of let each coat dry in between, and then go back with the dry brush and the paint and start light, build it up. So I'm going to just quickly put a little bit on that to kind of show you what it's going to look like. Then I'm going to let you guys get on with your day. I'm going to finish them up, light them up, and post them so that you can see them. So let's see. Lighting a little better this way. There's a little bit of a shine because I put such a shiny spray on this. It is kind of shiny, so I apologize. But okay, so that might be, so you can see how you've got the different colors. And then, I really can't see it, but I'm going to go just with the white up on the middle. I actually grabbed the chip brush, but I would prefer to use, at this point, the bristle, the littler one. And I'm going to just go from the middle up. Oh, and I'm doing it below your sight line, so let's do it where you can see it. I started in the middle, and I kind of, these branches on this guy are really wide. It's not like the blue one where it's a little triangle tip of the branch and I do it and you're done. This one's pretty wide, so I do it in the middle. See how coordinated I am. I do it in the middle first. But you've got a lot of branch left, so I very lightly just feather it up on the others. Very light. Then when I do a second coat, if I want to, I go a little heavier just in those center bits. Let me see if I can even show you a little closer on the side. That is finished. You can see the shine, though. Actually, I would take this outside now and spray it when it's done. And I sprayed it once, let it dry, sprayed it again. But can you see the beautiful finish in there? You can kind of see how you get the darks, the lights, the brights. And if you don't want that shiny finish, that's fine too. You could just get a matte or a satin spray. A satin spray would be kind of nice. I'd want a little bit of something on there. But if you don't want that high gloss, you don't have to. I like it because it reminds me of the ceramic ones we made, the glazed ones rather. So you can kind of get an idea there. I'll take up some close-up pictures too for you, and I'll include it with your supply lists so that you can really see the branches individually. And I'm going to quickly just show you now how to put that light kit in because it's pretty cinchy. So let me show you. So like I said, every tree comes with the light kit, the light bulb, and the little lights that go in. So the light kit looks like this. So you've got your cord. I took the little light bulb out of its holder and put it into the socket. It doesn't come that way, but we all know how to put light bulbs in. So I think we're good. It has a switch too, which is nice. So you don't have to unplug and plug it. You've got your little on-off switch. So it's in this little metal thing. You just, underneath the tree, you put your bulb through, and it just sits. I mean, it couldn't be easier. You've got a little indent here for your cord to go through. And you got your on and off switch. And then you just set your tree on. And I can't wait to see it lit up, but I'm not going to do it now because it's not going to be very impressive until it's a little darker and I get all the lights in and everything. So the lights, you get a little package with your multicolor lights and a star. Stars all come in this goldy orange. It's such a big tree, you can't even see it. There. And a little bag of multicolor lights. And they are kind of fun. I just set them in. You could glue them. I don't glue them. I set them in and take them out again and set them back in next season. But you're welcome to put just a little dab of white glue. It'll dry clear. You could glue them in if you wish. If you have an old tree at home, you've lost bulbs and whatnot, I have plenty. Let me know. And that, I think, wraps it up. I think I covered everything. If I did not, please leave me a comment, send me a message, and I will go over it. But I will send out directions when you buy the tree. I will send out a project, directions and a supply list and contact information. Let me know if you want me to put a kit together. I would be happy to do like a little private group if that's something that interests you. And like I said, I think I have some space, so I will be scheduling some time, some studio time. We can take a small group, maybe like 6 to 8. We can space you all out and maybe, get together and see everybody. So I'm going to wrap it up. And Cheryl from Tinker's Cart Art, please follow me and please take a look at the tree selection. And if you'd like it, I'd love for you to have one. Thank you guys for joining. I'll see you next time.